from a VMax into a data domain.
So get rid of that backup server.
Skip the whole thing. Yeah. And with the latest version of data domain, which we're announcing this week as well, from a software perspective, it actually means it's 20 times faster than the standard backup. So this thing's absolutely lightning, saves a lot of money, and it's very, very high performance.
So I think if you click the next slide.
Am I clicking the next slide?
There you go.
Oh, so then you should ask me, have we doing anything on the data domain?
You doing anything on the data domain side?
Yeah, you know, funnily enough, we're actually announcing on the show. See, I was waiting for your question. So the high end, we're actually refreshing the high end. So we've got the 9500s being launched today. And I'm going to click again because I'm betting.
And that replaces the DD990.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah. And I don't know if there's a slide after this.
Neither do I.
So anyway, so on this is fantastic because this is really well orchestrated. I apologise, but on the 9500, it's 1.5 times the performance, it's 4 times the capacity of our nearest competitor. Right. So in other words, you sort of look at it, and one of the things that you from a architecture standpoint, and this goes all the way through, and it doesn't matter whether it's VMax. We talked about the architecture separation. It doesn't matter whether it's XtremIO. It's the architecture. It's not the SSDs. And if you look at data domain, to get a single contiguous pool of the size that we have, huge amount of work has to be done on the architecture and things like the file systems. Yeah. And so we're the only person that does that. That's how it gets us the scale that we do. So again, happy that we're actually boosting that thing up. And of course, you get the power of the portfolio because in essence, you kind of think about it. You got the VMax. If you want, you can have it separated on XtremIO, or you could stuff it inside. You could use it as an extreme cache layer, and also then you've got Protect Point with something like this performance.
That's cool. So and this really gives you kind of 2 times everything you had on a DD990, basically exactly the same price.
Well, so the cheeky thing is roughly on the DD990. Now we had a competitor that has a box which is actually about 4 boxes plugged together, and it had a slightly higher performance than we did on 990. It's 1.5 times as fast as that, and it's 4 times the capacity of that box.
That's awesome. So obviously last year we made a ton of acquisitions in your team. So do you want to maybe again just quick recap for everyone the acquisitions that we made?
Yeah. So we did. We did 3 acquisitions. We did TwinStrata, that was in VMax World, and we did Spanning, we did Maginatics, which was in the data protection world. All 3 were actually on cloud work. And so at the show, we're announcing a few things. So one is Cloud Array, which is basically taking a VMax and pushing it to any cloud. So that's with TwinStrata. And actually, it works with pretty much any primary storage we have and pushing it to any cloud as well. So the way of being able to offload it back to that second circle I had, which is, out to the cloud. And then if you think of if that's the lens for primary storage, you then put the lens on for data protection. Yeah. We did an acquisition around Maginatics, and we're announcing at the show a thing called Cloud Boost, which enables you to do the same thing from a virtual appliance, in essence, and push from Network or Avamar into any cloud, right? And then, of course, we did the final acquisition, which was Spanning, and that really is a little bit more out there. So that's really cloud to cloud. Yeah. And so, I'm kind of looking at going this from the consumption models. Most people have got a data center, but if you've got applications in the cloud, do you want to trust the cloud vendor, or do you really want to do cloud-to-cloud backup? Yeah. And so we bought Spanning, and when we bought them, they were running with, I believe it was SQL, it was Salesforce and Google Apps. And we wanted to basically amp that up, so we actually just added Microsoft stuff as well, so 365.
That's a really